Hey, girlfriend, have you ever wondered how to eliminate self doubt? Well, I'm going to get to the bottom of that in today's video. My name is Ingafay, and I'm a direct sales diva and confidence coach. And in today's video, I am going to share what causes self doubt. Why do we doubt ourselves? We will get to the bottom of that in today's video. Secondly, I will also tell you how to beat self doubt. This will definitely help you grow into the person that you're destined to become. And I'm sure you want to do that, right? Your future self will thank you. Last but definitely not least, we're going to get to the bottom of how to get rid of self doubt and fear. This can really hinder you from growing into the person that you're destined to become. So let's talk about what causes self-doubt. I often think that self-doubt is a direct result of what I call imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome means that we think we're not worthy to do something for whatever reason. A lot of us have been taught that we are to go to school, get a degree, and work for XYZ for X amount of years. And I think oftentimes when you're in that type of mentality is that you think you have to get a certification or some kind of degree to do something before you can actually do it. And what I have learned over my tenure of being an entrepreneur is that you can definitely still get an education from the school of life that is far better than what you would get in a book, because it's real world circumstances that you have to figure out how to overcome outside of just knowing the book knowledge. As many of you know, I used to be a mechanical engineer in a chemical plant, and I can recall working with a guy that worked as a mechanical engineer, but he did not have a mechanical engineering degree. He had extensive experience on the plant, was a mechanic, and had a lot of just school of life knowledge that many of us that went to school did not have. And as a result of that, he was a very good engineer, even though he didn't necessarily have the degree that followed with it. He was able to work with us, those that did have a degree, and guide us on how to problem solve the different things that were going on with the plant. And he never went to school for it. With that experience, it really resonated with me that you don't necessarily have to have a piece of paper that says that you can do XYZ. A lot of the times, just through life experiences, we learn so much more just from the hands-on experience that we get, more so than just reading a book and taking a test that maybe we memorize the information but not necessarily have applied in everyday life. So I wanted to give you that heads up that if you have knowledge about any particular topic, and it could be absolutely anything you may be well versed in, as long as you know 10% more than the person that you're helping, you're going to be deemed a genius. So don't get all caught up in the certifications and the education and even the years of expertise, because you only need to know 10% more than the person that you're helping. And you just want to be a couple of steps ahead of them so you can teach them what you have learned. As you continue to grow, you can be more value to that person, because the more you know, you can teach them. So I really want to make sure that I shared that with you. And I've done this personally myself. I haven't done it as long as XYZ person. That really doesn't make a difference. All you want to have is 10% more knowledge than the person that you're helping. So I'm curious, after I said that to you, does that make sense to you, this 10% more? Comment below and let me know. I really would love to know if this resonates with you, because I really want you to do the things that you were meant to do and not really be hindered by this imposter syndrome, thinking that you're not worthy just because you don't have a piece of paper. Because, girl, you don't need. So now let's talk about how to beat self-doubt. One of the things that I have learned when it comes to self-doubt is that oftentimes we are doubtful because it's something that we have not done before. And because we're not comfortable doing it, for whatever reason, we don't think we can. So it made me think about being comfortable. So my recommendation for you to beat self-doubt is to be comfortable doing the uncomfortable. So what does that mean? It means to to try different things that you've never tried before, that you have no idea about, and be okay with it. And know that the only one that you are competing with is yourself. I think we have a tendency to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others. I know I've done this personally myself. I will raise my hand and say that. Just as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. That when we compare ourselves to other people, oftentimes we're comparing their strengths to our weaknesses. So I want you to make it a point. If you have a weakness, why not work on it? For example, if you are not a person that normally speaks in front of a crowd, why not start speaking in a smaller group where you can actually get used to talking to maybe 5 or 6 people more so than just talking to a group of 1,000? Let's take baby steps. One of the things I would also recommend is that make sure that you're not the smartest person in the room. And what I mean by that is if you're the go-to person in the room and everyone is going to you because you are deemed the most wise out of everyone else. This means that, granted, the people that are in the room with you, you are providing them tons of value and you're serving them. But you as a person is at a stagnant point and you're not growing. Now, granted, I'm sure this is great for your ego. You feel like you're the woman or the man and you got it going on, which is great. But when we find ourselves in those type of situations, we are going to become stagnant and we want to make sure that we're growing as well. So we have to make it a point to, granted, help those folks that need our help by providing value and serving them, but also being in another group where we are getting help and be continually growing and people are challenging us to take it to the next level as well. Before I go on how to get rid of self-doubt and fear, I wanted to remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be uploading a video every Thursday for your viewing pleasure, and we don't want you to miss a beat. So be sure to subscribe. You can click the link below. So now we're going to get into how to get rid of fear and doubt. One of the things that I have learned, a person with a growth mindset is a person that feels like if they put enough effort that they will be able to expand their talent or their knowledge based on the effort that they put in. Fixed mindset believes whatever innate abilities that they were born with that come to them naturally are the only ones that they can have. I can tell you from experience that the ones that are in the fixed mindset, that just think that whatever God gave them is what they got, these are the people that doubt themselves the most because they do not put themselves in uncomfortable type of situations. They stay in the comfortable at all times. They're not growing. They're very stagnant in what they believe that they can do. They blame others for where they are because they think that they can't do the same things that other people do because they have these fixed talents, which is so far from the truth. You want to make sure that you have a growth type of mindset, that knowing that if you put the effort in something, that you would be able to figure it out. Now, I can tell you from experience that this is something that I have done over time. I can remember when I first started teaching aerobics. I taught aerobics, had never done it before, have always been a dancer, but not really an aerobics instructor. I could follow the beat of the music, but as far as telling people what to do before it came time to do it was definitely a skill that I had never done. But over time, I developed that skill and was able to do it and would do it so comfortably, I wouldn't miss a beat. I would be able to say something before I actually did it. And that's really the dilemma when you are an aerobics instructor, if you've ever taken a class, is be able to tell somebody what to do before you do it. So you got to think ahead of the move. It's kind of a mastery in that. I can just also think of times, just even as an engineer, taking different courses, learning different subjects, and being in a study group, learning that engineering was definitely a team sport that you never did by yourself, and that there were things that each person would get inside the group that if you were able to come as a collective group, that we would be able to teach each other as a result of that. So being in a type of environment where people are wanting to learn and learn different things, so you all can collaborate and learn from one another. Something you understand and that other person doesn't, they can teach you, and then vice versa. But it's just a group that knows that if they put their effort in, they will be able to understand and learn the information. Or when it comes down to just using a new piece of software or learning some new type of technology, I've always wanted to know how to do something new. And I've come from the mindset of I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to have this can do type of attitude. And as a result of that can do attitude, I'm able to figure it out because I've made that decision that I can. Because I know in my heart of hearts that I have done it before, that if I put the effort in, that it will come to fruition. Now, I know some of you thinking, well, Inga, that's you. Yeah, but it can be you too as well, girlfriend. One of the things I have definitely learned that it normally takes you longer than what you think, especially as entrepreneurs. We are always so more optimistic about how long something is going to take, but you got to stay the course. You got to see it through. And one of the things that have helped me see it through is to track my progress, to see how I'm doing, where I started from and where I am now. I can even think about that with my YouTube channel. When I first started my beauty YouTube channel, I started off with 0 subscribers. I remember my son laughing because I had to type in my whole name for it to come up. I don't know if you guys know, but normally when you type in something on YouTube, it's going to instantly find what you're looking for just as you type a couple of letters. Well, because my channel was new, I had to type in the whole thing. But at the end of the day, you got to start somewhere, right? Every master was a disaster at some particular time. And the important thing is just to start and not let the fear overtake you. It's very important that you track your progress so you can see the progression of your efforts. That gives you the fuel to keep going, even if you haven't reached the ultimate destination that you're working to get to. But if you can see the progress that today I was so much better than I was yesterday, that's definitely what's going to help you. You also want to make sure that you are associated with people that want to put in effort to grow as well, because you want to be around like-minded type of people. If you didn't know, you are an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you think about the people that you hang out with, are they people that are working, or are they more thinking that they only have so many talents that God gave them and they're just going to do those talents and not be able to do anything else because that's outside of their comfort zone? Kind of analyze that, because if you want to overcome this self-doubt, you got to hang around people that are doing new things and are like-minded and are willing to put the effort in to improve themselves. And if you're not hanging out with those kind of people, you will remain in that self-doubt and failure mode. You won't be able to overcome that because your associations will be telling you that's the way it is. I wanted to give you an opportunity to hear from some 6 and 7 figure earners. Be sure to click the link below. It's the Confident Direct Seller link. Get access to those proven strategies they've learned with imperfect action, and just kind of find out what their story was and how they were able to reach their desired outcome. It's never a perfect story. It's always some drama and trials and tribulations in there, which is what I absolutely love, to know that everybody goes through it. You just got to go through. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.